pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We hope. Okay, we don't need to seat alternates, do we? Or do we? I think we do, because Ann's not here.
What happened with the elections? Did we get in, or is it still coming?
Sonia, who are our alternates? Bad, seat bad for Dan? Okay, that's done. If anyone's here for anything that's not on the agenda, this would be a good time to come up and let us know. Okay, no one? So we'll go on to item 1, 280 Jeremy Swamp Road, show cause hearing, and I understand we got a new site map, which I did look at and did not understand.
So essentially, they did some clearing associated with the proposed house development. He pushed a little too far into the upland review area. Everything's since become stabilized because the whole site has ceased work. They're not currently progressing with the installation of the driveway crossing.
Okay.
So the entire lot has been revegetated naturally.
Has the driveway crossing been, it looked to me like it'd been moved. They're putting it somewhere else, or is that, am I looking at that wrong?
No, I mean, they couldn't, because that's what you guys approved.
Okay.
And what you approved is substantiated. Where this stopped was they didn't understand the parameters of their approval. They need to have engineering controls and have an engineer certify and design and install the structure.
Okay, so that's all in process, and we don't have to worry about it tonight.
I don't think they can afford it, so I think
So nothing's gonna
they've not gone forward with that aspect of it. I think the lot's for sale, so, you know, moving past this as a violation, he went a little too far, and then it was hard to get him, you know, into the meetings to rectify
remember
things.
that. They wouldn't
I
come
ended
in.
up working with them to get this map drawn up, so there was something concrete that you guys could review, but the site has since restabilized itself. So,
And there's no activity.
and there's no activity, correct.
Sounds like that's the end of that. Next item is application 1721.
Excuse me, don't you have show cause hearing? Is that what-
Do we need to close it?
or how-
You might as well make a motion just to be safe.
I think
Yeah.
you do, don't you?
Yep, might as well be safe and make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I move to close the show cause hearing. Bob seconds.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Okay. Pen just broke. Well, the next item is 1721 at 105 Lake Mere Drive.
So, the applicant is here. You guys will be accepting the application today. Ms. Hooper is the owner of the property. I've had extensive conversations with her. I got a call from, I believe it was Ed Nagy, regarding some disturbance and land clearing, or rather grading that was done on a lot that previously housed a detached garage structure and a single-family residence. The single-family residence was demolished. It does lie within the 100-foot regulated area from a named watercourse. This is right on Lake Mere. So the approval for the demolition needed to go through this commission, but it hadn't. The site was graded and there was some ruts that were forming and feeding into the waterway. I contacted Ms. Hooper via a notice of violation and notice to correct, because I didn't want to issue a cease and desist because we needed to correct a lot of things. She immediately met me on site and had George Stone meet me on site as well. We walked the site, talked about everything that needed to get done as far as erosion controls. Mr. Stone worked very expeditiously to get multiple layers of erosion controls in. You guys can review the 2 site reports. Don't need to read those out to you. However, there was a slight breach of a failing retaining wall. The sediment was deposited on top of the seawall, and Mr. Stone had removed all the deposited sediment by hand and had the area reseeded and stabilized. I think since then, frankly, they've gotten germination of all the seeds and they've pretty much spread everything out. I think stabilization is likely already been met or will be met within the next 2 weeks, I would wager.
It's fully stabilized. That's right across from me.
I honestly, when I was over at the site, I was looking over at you to see if, you know, we could wave and high five across the water. But regardless, I think this is kind of a open and shut situation. They made a mistake, they immediately rectified, and now they're in before you guys to get after the fact approval for what is in your jurisdiction as the demolition of the existing structure.
Well, since it's done and it's stabilized, there isn't much to
No, but
talk about.
you can't approve the application today, unfortunately. We still have to.
I can't do site visit anyway.
We do. We have to do that. We can't, it just came in, anyway, this is our acceptance.
Yep.
Schedule site visit for next meeting or for review at the next meeting, and we'll go from there.
Got it.
Very good. Application 1722, North Georges Hill and 183 Willow Creek.
So this application just came in today as well, not today, but you guys will be receiving it today. This is PDD 19, yeah, PDD 19. They have approval for all the lots currently on site. This one is prepped and ready to be subdivided into 4 separate building lots. It's already designated as Lot 8, 9, 10, and 11. So subdividing it will not increase the additional lots as was approved in the PDD regulations. There is wetlands associated. This will be a simple, getting eyes on the property, understanding certain aspects of the wetlands that you guys will need to
Okay.
enforce and protect, and that's pretty much it for this one.
Okay, so schedule site visits. Look at it next month. Is there anything dramatic about this we want to pay attention to?
The applicant is here if the commission has any questions for him, but at this stage, we're just
We haven't
accepting
seen
it.
anything, so
Correct.
we'll just accept it then.
Understood.
And finally, application 1723, Pine Rock Road, Mr. Schwenger.
Mr. Schwinger is putting forth an application for the construction and enlargement of a deck. Do we have that?
I don't know that.
We might have it upstairs. Regardless, I'll get a copy scanned for you guys to all review. But this is on Pine Rock, so 100-foot upland review area. The work being conducted is just outside First Light's jurisdictional boundary, so it falls within you guys. We've worked to make sure that everything meets the, me and the applicant have worked to make sure that everything meets the zoning standards, coverage, setbacks, everything along those lines. He's proposing I believe it's a 480 square foot deck and a small 90 square foot deck off the back of the property. That's pretty much it. We'll schedule a site visit and allow you guys to review it. Again, I'll have the site plan for you guys.
Has it been staked so we can actually see where it's going to go? That's just easier.
We can ask the applicant
If
today
you could do that, that would be
if
helpful.
it's been staked. So Chris if you
Oh,
wouldn't
it's here.
mind coming up, stating your name and address.
Good evening, Chris Schwanger, 122 Pine Rock Road.
And
Welcome, Mr. Schwenger. I was just asking, when we come out for a site visit, it would be really helpful if you just stake the corners of where you want the work done, so
Oh,
we can
sure.
see it. It's just a lot easier.
Sure. You're probably gonna laugh. The neighbor dog tends to grab a lot of sticks. Would it be okay if I took some like white paint and maybe just
Whatever you want,
did-
just
Oh,
so
okay,
we
I'm
can
just-
visually see.
I know we tried to do
It's hard to
something in the past
visualize.
and
Spray the dog.
things were, yeah. Maybe that too. But yeah, no, I'll definitely do that. I'd be happy to just,
Great.
just some borders or the corners
Just the
or
corners,
what's easy.
nothing
corners would be
fancy, just so we
perfect,
have an idea of
just some right
where it's going
angles
to be.
just to represent the
Okay,
corners.
That'd be
yeah,
fine.
happy to do that for you.
But thank you
Thanks,
very
Chris.
much.
All right.
So we'll, sometime in the next couple of weeks, we'll give you a call and
Sonia will
set up
reach
a
out.
meeting.
Okay, yeah, I'll aim to do it, probably this weekend.
Whenever, yeah, wait until the rain goes away.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Could I,
Chris.
could I ask you a question? Is this,
dog ate
is
my
this on a river or a brook or?
This is on a named water course. This is Pine Rock, right along, and it's the Pomperaug River? Yes, might as well. Thank you.
So we'll schedule site visit and discuss it at the next meeting. We'll try to make it, midday so you can go, Donna.
Was that application, was that like a maintenance and restoration application, or how is that done on those type of things?
This would be a maintenance and restoration.
Okay,
If it's
Yeah.
already there, unless there's the new one.
and would
Is it
you,
stand
It's relatively simple. Small deck, large deck, getting extended.
Well, so it's partly new, too.
Yep.
So,
would you think that that would be the type of thing that might qualify as a minimal activity?
For an administrative approval?
Yes.
Typically, the only parameters that I will allow for administrative approval is if there is a significant lack of excavation to be done, and
Okay.
there's no erosion controls. Typically, I reserve the minimal activity for sheds on gravel bases,
Okay,
because that's what we get the most of, and it's simple enough that I wouldn't want to, burden this commission with something along those lines. This is just outside First Sight's jurisdiction. A lot of these applicants can, go a little too far with what they propose when it comes to these small lots, so I personally feel it's
okay.
worth it to
Just
have you
thought
guys
I'd
check
ask,
things
because
out.
it seems like he's removing, maybe he's enlarging it a little bit, I guess,
Mhm.
but,
So new footings and things like
Precisely.
that.
okay.
Yeah, so we'll just want to address the erosion controls and everything
Alright.
along those lines. And if this commission feels that, my administrative aspects should be expanded to something along those lines, I'd be more than happy to have that conversation, Carl. At this stage right now,
Okay.
where I'm at is kind of like across the board how I treat it. So
Alright.
gravel bases and sheds are typically what I reserve that for.
Okay,
With new construction, especially when it's near First Light, I think we should keep an eye on this.
I would agree. Yeah.
Okay, that takes care of new business item 3. So we're on to other business. Work session to follow regular meeting to be determined. Is there anything to talk about?
Not right now. I've been kind of, I consumed another commission. I've been dealing with the planning commission lately since Judy's departure. So unfortunately, these things have kind of gotten
Well, there's nothing we can do with it anyway.
backburnered a bit.
We need to authorize the publication.
Mhm.
Let's just put it off until next month.
We just have a couple work
It's little tiny things.
sessions type stuffs to do, but we can get it done.
Okay. Okay, officers report.
So you guys have a number of site visits that I conducted. It's more for your review at this point. Thad had called out something concerning at 82 Poverty. I did a follow-up. 1200 Main Street is involved in here. That regards a follow-up to some enforcement. And then, of course, the 105 Lake Mere Drive regarding the uncovering of the violation and the subsequent correction of the violation. So anything other than that, you guys have pretty much been
That-
updated.
Anything you want us to pay attention to?
Nope.
Nope.
could someone clarify for me what transpired with the 1200 Main Street South? I read the minutes, I didn't quite understand. They had a plan submitted that was withdrawn, and then a new plan submitted at our request.
Basically, yes.
And, so, did the new plan, is that finished down there now, or is there still more to be done, I guess, is what I'm asking?
So they're no longer under a show cause. The,
We lifted that when we got the new plan.
correct. And they started work on correcting the encroachments that had been performed, as well as stabilizing the front area that got us into the violation in the first place. Everything else was uncovered after the fact, and after I was on site doing my review. So once they got the plan approved to rehabilitate those areas, we transferred over what was in the show cause as being violations to what now was being in an application for correction. That was approved, so that was the work that they conducted most recently with the stabilization of those steep slopes where the pavement area, or the proposed pavement area, met that kind of brook that fed from the
The
rear
ditch in
wetlands.
the back, yeah.
Right, so that got stabilized, as you can see in the report, and they had riprap installed just to further stabilize that area. So they brought it to a steady slope and then reinforced it with the riprap.
Because it was all torn up.
And, yep,
What will come down the pike in the future, from my understanding in talking with the applicant and our various meetings here, is he will be asking or requesting an application for the paving of that parking lot.
okay, so that was not included.
Correct.
Did we come to an understanding as to what would or wouldn't be happening in this back area up in here?
So that back area, most of the machinery had been moved.
Yeah.
Our goal was,
All of it.
not even a goal, was to advise him to essentially get a structure in place to house a lot of his construction materials, clean up the area, and have it stabilized.
So he will be coming back with another application, is what you're saying?
Correct.
He has to.
Whether it be to this commission or to planning from a site plan
He still has to come back
modification
here, 'cause he's-
aspect.
Because he's,
If the structure is outside of the upland review area, he wouldn't have to come back here.
But the
that's
paving
true,
would
but I
be.
think from the
I'm
way,
sorry?
but the paving will be.
Yes,
certainly would
you're
be.
100% right, yes.
He's probably
So
gonna do
that's-
it all at
And
once.
the associated drainage with it.
So that was, yeah, kind of my point, is whether or not this comes before your commission for the additional aspects, or it goes before, let's say, planning, if he wants to
Oh.
install the structure.
Actually, he's supposed to come here, and we're supposed to run it, let me change the way I'm saying that. We have the authority to look at all of this stuff, and given the history we have with this site, I want him to send us, at least as advisory, this is what we're planning on doing, so we can look at it and say, okay, that'll be all right. Because we have potential drainage issues coming off that new building.
So anything that gets proposed from this point on, from an application standpoint, an application gets put in for anything, whether it's within or without your jurisdiction, you guys would like to
Yeah,
ultimately
Especially on
review.
this one, because we've had issues with it already.
Understood.
And there are potential drainage issues coming off any building or any structure that he puts back there.
We also had at least some discussions about the possibility of sending that plan out for an additional review, because there was a lot going on in that spot with the gas pipeline crossing there and so forth.
Gas pipeline would definitely have to be,
I don't know if that discussion went anywhere during,
I don't think it did. I think we said we dealt with it,
you wanted to deal with the
In-house.
infractions to begin with, and then,
yeah. And when he starts going for the paving and things like that, I think then we're gonna take another look at it. But it should be in good shape. My major concern with it is that it's gonna be a large paved area,
well, it's a.
and you're not gonna get any infiltration, and it's all gonna be dumped into the street,
Well, that's-
maybe,
that's-
or the back, I
that's-
don't know.
That's correct. It's a commercial building surrounded by wetland areas.
That's correct, exactly.
So that's why I think we need to be,
So it's fairly sensitive,
yes,
yeah,
agreed,
so no matter what happens, you guys will be involved.
yes.
yes.
Understood?
Okay, so that covers that covers your reports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're flying through this. Bills and receipts?
We have from July 13th to September 12th, $2,285.
In? And anything out? Okay. The Southbury Green Quarterly Monitoring Report, I went through that. It's kind of same as. I didn't see anything outstanding.
No, I didn't.
Anybody else see anything?
No.
There are no recommendations or anything like that, so
No.
it's-
Just for a matter of conversation, are we supposed to be getting those reports from the other building here on Main Street? The other assisted living facility with their,
Yeah, there's a number of them.
are
That we're
do
supposed to
we
be
get them
getting.
from them as well?
We are
quarterly?
supposed to get them, but I don't think we've been getting them.
I think that we should probably look into that.
All right.
This is the first time where I've seen one of these reports. Like, why are
We
we?
don't get many. We made a fuss about getting them for Settlers Park. And there weren't any, because they haven't been doing the testing. So we're supposed to get any of that. I don't know why we got the Southbury Green one, frankly. I'm surprised somebody bothered sending it.
Somebody read the permit.
This
finally.
might be a silly question, but it says quarterly report, so wouldn't that imply that we should be getting
We should be
for a
getting 4
year?
a year, yeah,
Okay.
if they're doing it.
Is it because it's like a new facility? Or didn't they just build that one?
I think it's a treatment system there that
It's
they,
a whole bunch of stuff. They got
Yeah.
a stream, a pond on site. God knows, they've got runoff from the parking lots. I think,
No, you're talking about the
thought
shopping
you-
center?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
shopping center
shopping
she's
center.
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, they
we-
did something down there a year or so ago, expanded the
So is that why
Septic
septic system,
we've started getting reports?
that's why, I guess.
Where were you talking about, though? Kind of
what do I want to call it?
the other end of town?
The retirement facility.
Oh,
assisted
right.
living.
We're
right,
supposed to
right.
be getting them for the
Yeah.
I
assisted
think
living
we're
facility.
supposed
We're
to
supposed to be
get
getting
them
them
from
from there
Hearth.
too, and I don't think we've ever gotten one of those. And the parks, and,
Well, then should we get one from the wastewater treatment facility of Heritage? I mean, who does look at, I guess that would, a direct discharge would be DE.
I think in the most case, for the most part, they aren't doing it. And I know they stopped doing them at Settlers Park, they couldn't find any of the wells. And then they did, and they found, what, one? Did they find one? I guess they never did do one.
No, we didn't find any.
So that kind of went by the,
Yeah, really, if no one holds them accountable, then. Super strong.
anyway, I guess it's a general question. Do we want to make a fuss about it and go after these people and say, hey, we want the monitoring report, send them to us?
Yes, yes. I
Donna
think so.
says yes. Okay, I'm okay
If
with
you don't
that.
hold them accountable, then it's gonna go by the wayside.
I'm frankly not sure which ones we're supposed to get.
We have a list of them,
This
so
might,
we'll start
this might
reaching out to
tie
them.
into, one of the next items on the agenda, right? Oh, no, the work session to follow regular meeting. Although it's aquifer, this is more surface water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones I can think of are, Kmart Plaza, which it isn't Kmart anymore. The Settlers Park, where there aren't any wells. We were supposed to get them from the other facility. And I don't know, it would be nice to get them from here, the Green. But I don't know that we've ever gotten those unless except for what we just got.
We have a list of who's been reporting, so we'll reach out to everyone and make sure that they should know that they still have to be on top of this.
Is Dymar doing most of it? Do you know?
I would wager to that, probably.
So, yeah, let's just kick that up a little and see
Understood.
what we have.
So with Settlers Park, have they come, because we went out there and looked at it, and they were gonna come up with a plan on how to,
The turf
stabilize
management plan,
those
yeah.
banks.
He had some, it was SLR, and they had some monitoring post-application of, their treatments that they did, and that was pretty much the nature of how far they were gonna go with their testing. There was pre-emergent crabgrass treatments, the grub treatments and everything like that, and they were gonna sample post-application.
They're gonna sample something.
Right, and
There are no monitoring wells
I
out
think it was soil samples, and it was really for the purpose of determining how much application they need to provide.
And they did do
forward.
that.
Yeah.
And we okayed it,
Mhm.
because, in part because we don't know what the hell they're doing, so. Well, we don't.
Yeah.
We can, if we want to make a fuss about it, I think if we go back and look at the permits that were issued when we authorized the park, I think monitoring was one of the conditions. I can't swear to that. But
I recall reading that.
my
too.
recollection is that we said you will have, I think, 4, maybe 6 monitoring wells, and we'll get at least yearly samples. And they didn't, they never did. And I remembered where a couple of the wells were, and Jordan couldn't find them, and I went out to try and find them. I couldn't find them either. So they either were never put in, or they were covered over,
More likely.
which is more likely, yeah.
Right, and then I think in talking with Public Works, they have no
They had no records.
budget to
And they had
put
no
in
budget.
wells at this stage.
Which is probably right. I'm not that worried about the park, as long as we have some handle on the way they're dealing with the turf.
Right, which
I'm not too
we
concerned
got a
about
full
that.
list of all the applications they're
Yeah,
providing
so we
out
have
there.
all that. We just don't have anyone who's qualified to read it.
Unfortunately, no. So we have to take,
We don't have a budget to send them out to have them review it either.
what the engineering report is and take that as gospel.
Yeah,
That's
that kind
really
of
all we
stuff. Anyway, let's move on, and then we can decide we're not gonna do anything with the aquifer protection regulations. Anything else that we wanna take a swing at? This? What is this?
You know the park right outside of, it's right across the street, it's on East Flat Hill. It's that
I
turnaround.
thought this was a joke. Oh, I did, I'm serious. I assume this is just a crackpot, and we say, yeah, that's funny, ha-ha.
No, they wanna do a park.
Okay, just walk us through that, okay? Where is this?
Siemens Park, the soccer field,
Yeah,
the turnaround that's right across the street,
okay.
Oh, right near the river,
right near the river, yeah.
with the big tree. Big
What
beautiful
does-
tree.
The massive.
What does do a park mean?
That's private property, by the way.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even seen this.
What's the problem?
Isn't, that's owned, this is owned by.
So this is the first time
the
seeing
Audubon
this.
Society, isn't it?
Yes,
It's
yes.
Mr.
You can't do a
Pielmeyer,
park.
I think he's been, like,
Evan?
what I understand, Ronnie was telling me that he's had letters in the last several years that we have like over.
We used to get them once a month.
Yes, there you go.
That's why I said it. I just assumed this was
So
an
just-
idiocy and we
I
ignore
don't know,
it.
should I just like file that away and?
This, we have nothing to do with this. If they want to, if someone wants to decide to put in a park or pave over there or something, then they have to come to us because it's right on the water.
But it would be referred to us
It
by,
will be referred to us, and other than that, we're gonna
Okay,
ignore
I'll just
it.
file them away, I just
It's
like.
fine. No, it's fine. I'm not barking at you at all. You have to understand, Mr. Pielmeyer has a history of peculiar letters. And this one, if you read it, you know what he's basically mocking Mr. Rosa, who's been chair in Park and Rec for 35 years, I think. So this is not something that requires any serious
it did seem a
attention
little,
from us.
a
And
little
that's,
aggressive.
that's not town property, by the way, where that's located. So he might think that it is, but
It
it's
is.
not town property.
It's owned by the Audubon Society,
No, it's,
isn't it?
no, it's owned by one of the Cassidys, I think.
I thought it was private, yeah.
It's a private piece
Yep,
of property.
100%
It's just
private.
been used publicly over the years.
Oh, okay.
I've
All the
used-
more
yeah.
reason for us not to have anything to do with it.
Precisely. It is beautiful though.
No, it's lovely.
And that tree, oh my God, that tree is something else. It's stunning.
Okay. I think that's the end of our general business. We've already determined we're doing nothing on the aquifer protection this
Yes.
month.
What Sonia's holding up real quick is the DEP activity reporting forms.
Oh dear.
These
To prove we're active.
needed to be filed the entire time we've been approving wetlands applications.
We
And
had this discussion.
Let me just talk.
this was completely missed by myself.
Needs to be
No,
filed
not
on what
by you.
applications?
Every single application that we approve,
We,
this activity
Yeah.
reporting form
we
needs to be
discovered
sent to
this
the
in the
DEP.
spring, I believe. You raised this?
Nope, never
I
once.
saw it somewhere.
It got brought to my attention via Judy like a day or two before she left. She was like, by the way, are you doing this? And I was like, I've never heard of this in my life. Reached
Yeah.
out to the DEP, hat in hand,
Discussion.
very apologetic. They understand the turnover aspect of where we are as the land use department right now.
I've read this.
I'm in the process of backlogging everything we've done right now to get it to them in one bulk sweep. Moving forward
Crazy.
with this commission's approval, I would like to make this activity reporting sheet as part of all applications moving forward, because frankly, there's only a small aspect of this that should be done from the office. Every other aspect of this form should be done by the
How
applicant.
far back are we
Absolutely.
going?
Sure.
All this does is give DEP essentially another piece of paper to lose.
More paperwork.
Because
Who's gonna
I can
log it?
guarantee you
It's-
that if
it's
they
not
go up
electronic?
there and they
It's
go
all-
into their filing system, they will never be able to find
Oh,
it.
Donna, I've done a lot of these. It's antiquated. And then they have these two websites that you have to go to figure out what drainage basin you're
I
in.
want to think about that.
And my God, it's not easy. I'm mapping contours and I'm figuring out, there's a road and that road ends in a slight bend to the left and then it swerves to the right. Okay, now I gotta find that on this map. It's a
Are
it's
you
a whole
serious?
thing.
They want the USGS quad name or number?
That's the easy one.
And the drainage basin numbers?
That's the hard one.
This is nuts.
But I figured it out. It's not that
I
bad.
mean,
We
yes,
got
if
there.
you're doing a major subdivision, that might be something significant, but they want it, you
Everything.
put a deck up.
Everything you guys approve needs to be
Time
reported to them.
consuming. How far
Nuts.
back are you
All
going?
right, well, look,
Just till I started, so
Let's-
a year.
do we
Only
need
been here a year,
Do we
Donna.
need a vote for you to start doing this?
That'd be great. I'd
All right,
appreciate
I'll
it.
move that we authorize inclusion of the statewide inland wetlands and watercourses activity reporting form for DEEP to be included in the applicant's package when they come in for a permit. Second, Donna seconds, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? On principle, I'd be opposed, but no. We approve.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing it up. I could have sworn we already talked about this.
I wish we had.
I swear I've read this before.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, and
I read
We
this and
did
it's,
somewhere.
it's
I'm
nuts.
sure it was followed up on, and you've been here for a long time, so I'm sure you've seen a dozen and a half of these. It's just when I came in, it got missed.
Sorry to
unfortunately.
make you have to do more
It's fine. We got through it.
ridiculous nonsense. Okay, I have nothing else. Anyone else?
We have to approve the minutes.
Can't hear you.
Approve the minutes from last meeting? Do we
Oh.
do that?
Did I go to the last meeting? I think I did.
June.
I don't remember.
13, the minutes from June 13.
I think I was there. Yes?
I was there.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any comments on the minutes? Otherwise, they will be approved as drafted. Nope, no comments. I think we're good. Thank you. And that is it. The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Laflamme, in a second. Mr. Hornbecker, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. We're adjourned. That's a record.
30 minutes.
That's a record.
Thank you all for coming.
That's 30
I'm sure
minutes.
you'll read the
30
reports
minutes
when
for
you get
3
home.
months worth.
If they were important, it would tell us. You're not on. I know. Thank you for the pen. I should return this one to Ms. McAndrews.
All righty. Good meeting?
Want to take your own paper home? To them to get rid of.